What is up, YouTube? Once again, Don here with Eastern CT Vaper. Now today we are going to dive into the world of ceramics, and by that I mean we are going to be talking about this tank, the Krixus by HorizonTech. Okay. Now the ceramics in this works a little bit different than, say, the C-cell coil that I made my video about. Okay, the C-cell by Vaper has a ceramic wick with a metal heating element, or a metal heating coil, the wire heating coil that we all know. And then the wicking material is a porous ceramic with a little bit of cotton on it, but the majority of the wicking material is ceramic. Now this is a bit different, okay? It is a cotton wicking material, but the heating element is ceramic. The way that works is that there is a tungsten wire, and the tungsten gets melted down and fed into the ceramic, then re-hardened. Okay, that runs the tungsten through the ceramic, and it's a tungsten wire around ceramic. They're making the ceramic the heating element. We will see more of that in the dive down when we break it open, okay? What we're going to do today, I'm going to take you down to the table. We're going to look at the packaging. We're going to see what the packaging comes with so you know what you can get. Then we will take the tank, disassemble it, see what all the little intricate parts are. We are going to reassemble it, and then I'm going to take you to the ceramic heating element, okay? The ceramic heating element in this is marketed as a rebuildable heating element, and why they say that, you can't rebuild the ceramic exactly, but what you can do is take the coil apart and redo the cotton wicking so you can re-wick it, because they state that this ceramic heating element, I've heard, is good for up to 6 months. HorizonTech markets this that if you maintenance it right, it can be good for as long as the life of the tank, but only time will tell. I've heard of people saying only really up to 6 months, but maybe they didn't maintenance it right. So again, only time will tell. So let's dive down to the table and start getting into this thing. But before we do that, our number one that's done every video, and that is hitting the credit.
Came along for the ride, you're wicked with the clutch. Happened so fast and it hurt so much. Your car crash, and I can't look away. I should've known by now, I'm still not afraid. I do it to myself, notice what I never say. Your car crash, and I can't look away. All I see is shattered glass and red lights passing, my life flashing, headed for the same disaster. Faster and faster and faster. I couldn't stop at the red light. Stop at the red light. I couldn't stop at the red light. Your car crash, and I can't look away. Came along for the ride, you wicked with the clutch. Happened so fast and it hurt so much. Your car crash, and I can't look away. And all I see is shattered glass and red lights passing, my life flashing, headed for the same disaster. Faster and faster and faster. I couldn't stop at the red light. The red light, stop at the red light. I couldn't stop at the red light. You're just like a car crash, and I can't look away.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, down at the table with our Krixus tank by HorizonTech. Again, the Krixus logo. Okay, we're gonna first off slide this band off. This is a lot easier than some of the previous reviews that I did with sliding that off. Okay, it is obviously reflective. You can see my light shining off of it. Krixus, blank. Krixus again, very basic. Okay, this is where I stated that it says the rebuildable ceramic coil, but I will show you more about that when the time comes. Here is our packaging. Okay, pretty basic. HorizonTech. Krixus. We have a scratch code to check for authenticity. Again, HorizonTech. Krixus, and a QR code. And then on the back, it shows you how to refill the tank. Unscrew the top fill, fill your juice, reattach the top fill. reusable high-temperature durable ceramic coil head, top refill, and it holds 4 milliliters of juice. Designed and manufactured by Shenzhen HorizonTech Company Ltd. Alright, let's open up the packaging. When we take this top off, we have this card here. HorizonTech Krixus, horizon-esig.com is the website. We open it. It tells you about the resistance of the coil. It's supposed to be 0.3 ohms, give or take 0.1 ohm. The heating part is made of tungsten wire. The resistance will increase when the temperature rises, or the resistance will decrease when the temperature drops, which is the character of tungsten wire. And what they're saying about that is that this should read approximately at a 0.3 ohm coil when attached. Now when you start vaping it, the resistance is going to change, so if it increases, it'll probably do like 0.5 after you vape on it and get it hot. Then once it cools, it'll go back to 0.3. So you will see a change in the resistance while vaping. Okay? When we open this card on the inside, it takes us through on how to change the cotton. It gives you directions on how to do that, and I will show you that when we get there. Also on the bottom, they state that you can dry burn this ceramic to clean it. And you'll kind of see I've lightly used my coil. I'm not going to actually dry burn it because it's not that dirty yet, but you'll see what they are talking about, okay? If you do own this and you're thinking of dry burning it, do not go over 30 watts. I would even recommend 25 to 28. 30 is your all-time maximum. You do not want to exceed that, or you risk damaging the coil. Okay, we'll put that to the side. Then here in our packaging, we'll start from the top. Comes with an extra glass. Has a little baggie inside with a bunch of extra O-rings. We even have colored ones, so you can switch up some color. Put this back. And it comes with a box of Japanese organic cotton. And what that is they give you pre-cut strips of cotton to re-wick the ceramic heating element. You can see in there, there's like 5 or so strips that are pre-cut. And I'm not going to use one of these strips. I've already cut a strip of my own. I don't really want to use these because I have plenty of cotton pads. They're cheap enough. So I would rather just cut my own strips and save these so that I always have a piece to go off of to cut my own. Okay, put this back now. We also have down here a spare heating element. Okay, we can look inside there. I'll even take it out so we can see it a little better. You can kind of see down inside of that coil there. The ceramic heating element, we can see the little slots in it. This is the spare, so when I re-wick my used one, we'll see more of that. You can see a ceramic in there, it's wrapped in a piece of cotton. And last but not least, we have our Krixus tank, okay, by HorizonTech. Before we go too far, I'd like to go over some specs with you guys. This device is 44 millimeters tall, not including the drip tip. That's taking this right here out. 44 millimeters from top to bottom. It is a 22 millimeter device going across. You can see our 510 pin here. You can see the threads of our 510 pin. They are nice and smooth. Non-protruding 510 pin. I would not dare use this on a hybrid top cap model. You will have instant failure. Okay, but nice smooth threads. It is non-protruding 510 pin. All right. The drip tip that comes with it, from bottom to top, is 19 millimeters tall. Across is 13 millimeters. The inside diameter on the inside is 11 millimeters. Okay, and then that tapers down to about 6 millimeters here. right? And where the drip tip connects at the top of the tank, that is about 9 millimeters. Okay. Now, let's disassemble this tank some. Now, to fill this tank, we hold on to the glass section, and this top section here unscrews just like most top fill tanks. And you got two nice big sized fill ports. Excellent size. Also, our base section comes off. For some reason, I cannot get this to disassemble. I have tried and tried and tried and tried, and I just cannot break the threads. I'm not sure why. I know it comes apart because it does come with a spare glass. But for the life of me, I just can't get it. Maybe I need to throw it in my freezer for a little bit or something. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's supposed to come apart, but again, for the life of me, I just can't get it. So I'm going to 86 that for this moment. Okay. But then we go back to our base section. Okay. We have 4 nice size airflow slots. It has a stop, so when we fully open it, like so, it stops all the way open, and then when we turn it closed, it goes all the way closed and stops there. It does not continuously spin, which is one thing I really enjoy, because if you're unscrewing the tank or something, you won't have a section that keeps spinning. It has a stop. It makes it a lot easier to get off of the tank. Now, if you're trying to replace this coil section, you have to hold it by this knurling section, because you'll see when I show you how to re-wick this top sleeve comes off to replace the cotton. So you need to hold it by that knurled section. And unspin it that way. And then our heating element comes from the tank, or what is known as our coil. And nice size coil, it says right on the side here. Rated for 60 to 120 watts. I vape this at about 60 period, and it is a very, very sweet spot for it. It makes great clouds, great flavor. We will get into that at the end of this video though, and I will show you. Alright, here's the rest of our base section. Airflow slots, you can see through them. So there's 4 of them. And what you do to one is all the way around it. It's not like one's going to be closed while one's open. I know that on some RDAs, if you do like a single coil mode, that happens. But not with these. It's open all the way or closed all the way. And then it screws back in. And again, you're going to want to hold it by the knurled section to tighten it, not by this, because you could break something. Alright. Now, why don't we put this onto a mod or something? I'm going to use a mod. I don't know if you're doing this step by step with me. You can use anything that you want. I'm going to use a mod to hold the coil in place, and I'm going to show you now how to re-wick the ceramic heating element. To do this, I know I said I was going to use my used coil, but for some reason I could not get the sleeve to come off. So I'm going to use the backup coil just so I can show you this. I put my other one in the freezer to see if the metal would contract and see if it come off easier. So while you hold the base section on the knurled part, you need to, it might even be easier if we take this right out of the base section. You want to hold that and spin this top section to the left. See, it's spinning. Spinning and spinning. And there it is. Cotton comes out like so. I could probably even reuse this piece of cotton. But just to show you this, guys, I'm going to use my new piece. Make it a little bit easier. And we want to screw this on back on here for support. And as you guys can see, this is the ceramic heating element. This is how it looks. so we see if we don't get as much of a blare. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to take my new section of cotton here. And what I like to do is to make this just a little bit easier is I like to take the end and trim off just a nice little section of it. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier to do because it's a little bit less. Okay, and now with this Kogendo cotton, it's sandwiched, so a lot of times you can take off your sandwich piece, which we can do here. And this also helps with making it just that little bit thinner. Okay. And then we have our section of cotton. Now what you're going to want to do, I know they state that you can use a little bit of juice to kind of work as an adhesive. To each his own, it does help because it helps stick it, but I'm not going to do that for this because I don't really plan on using this coil right away. Alright. And you just wrap it up as tight as you can. Don't go too crazy because you do risk breaking the heating element. Alright. Just about like that. And while that's on there, take this top back on and it slides right on. You can see the cotton's in there. And just spin it down in there, like so. I'm not going to go too crazy tight because for some reason my other one is a little bit tight and it wasn't coming off, so I'm not going to do that with this one. But that's it. That's as simple and easy as it is. You might not get it your first try, but again, if you're having an issue, maybe try putting some juice on it. Like I said, that almost works as an adhesive or a glue. Just put it on the bottom side, stick it on there, and it also kind of helps to pre-prime your cotton, I guess. But it's just as simple as that. So why don't we take this back up to FaceTime? I'm going to get my old coil back in there, and just because I know it's the used one, we're going to add some juice, and I'm going to show you guys just how this vapes, go over some pros and cons, and I'll let you guys know if this was to be taken from me today, would I go out and get another one tomorrow. Welcome back up here at FaceTime, guys. Now my tank is empty. What I'm going to be doing is adding this Ronin Dojo flavor. It's a Lucky Charms flavor. Okay, highly recommend it. I picked this up at Vape Northeast when I went, but you can pick it up. Heck, your local vape shop might carry it. Let me see if I can find you guys a website if you are interested. RoninVape.com. Okay, highly recommend this. After all that time, got it filled finally. Readjust the cap. Alright. Now we'll turn this on. Now, this is marketed to have tungsten wire in it. Now, tungsten can be used with temp control. This is where the TCR functions on a lot of mods comes in handy. Now, if you know how to go in and adjust your TCR functions, it's like 0.0450, That's the way I easily say it, is 450. Go into your TCR function, get it to say 0.0450, you know. But that is the TCR numbers for tungsten. So I'm going to show you guys, 2, 3. We're going to go into the TCR settings. I put it to TCR 3. Okay, so now I'm going to use it in temp control. This is 60 watts, okay, because they say that's the minimum. That's where I've always liked it, okay, and 480 degrees. Let's have a vape. fantastic. The flavor is out of this world. It really is. You don't taste any metal. I mean, the cotton was already used, so that's probably the most in the flavor that you're gonna get. Is if the cotton was brand new, you might taste the new cotton taste until you get it nice and saturated and broken. But there's no wire taste. It's just full-on flavor. The airflow is fantastic. Let's go over some pros and cons. Now, starting with pros, most basic one, it has a ceramic heating element. It's not a wire coil. It's got an incredible lifespan. HorizonTech markets it the life of the tank. A lot of people I've seen reviewing this about 6 months, maybe more if you take care of it right. It's all on how you maintenance the coil. Other pros, it has huge feed holes, also huge wick holes on the coil, so that's a big plus. There's no dry hits. The juice gets right to the wick in the heating element. Okay. Other big pro is that it does have a tungsten wire in the ceramic, so you can use this in temp control mode as long as you have a TCR function. So that's a very big plus as well. Also, I love the fact that it has top fill. Big plus in my book. I'm a huge fan of top fill. Plus, another big pro is that it comes with an extra Pyrex tank. I believe it's Pyrex. An extra glass tank. We'll leave it at that. Alright, now let's hit some cons. My big con number one, when I've tried to disassemble this, I cannot get the tank section to come apart. So if I wanted to replace the glass section, I really think it would have to be broken to relieve tension or something. I cannot get it apart. Same thing, another con, I could not get the coil back apart to try and replace the wick. So I'm really feeling that I'm just gonna have to use this coil and 86 it when I'm done and go to the next coil. I do know that they sell it. When I bought this tank at Vape Northeast, the vendor I purchased it from had a box of 5 coils and they were only like $10, so they're not a whole hell of a lot of money. Alright, they are very, very, you know, budgetable, but it shouldn't come to that. It just seems like in a big con, everything in this tank is just way too tight. The threads are too tight, they're wrenched on too tight. I already changed the con in my first coil, so I mean, I guess that could have something to do with me, but if everything wasn't so jam-packed, I mean, it might not be that way. Other con, rebuilding that coil can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. If anybody's familiar with the Dolphin tank, it had these little rubber guides that the cotton wrapped around first and a ring went over it, and then you just placed that guide on top of the coil and just slid the cotton from the guide straight to the coil. Simple, done. Okay, you don't have that with this. You gotta hand wrap it, and that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass for some people, especially if you're not a tinkerer. From what I've seen, the price of the coils are, even if you're not a rebuildable, you don't even have to reuse them as long as you can find them. Now that's another problem in the con world, is I'm not really seeing these marketed. I was lucky enough to find spares from the vendor, which I didn't even buy because I know that the lifespan of the coil is so fantastic. But at the same time, I kind of wish I did, because anything can happen. You know, tomorrow I could go to re-wick a coil and bust a ceramic piece, and then I'm totally SOL. So it is a con. You know, another con, I wish that the coils were more marketed, meaning I wish they were easier to find. Alright, I think that just about wraps it up for the pros and cons. Now let's hit the scenario that if somebody was to happen to break into my house here in my messy ass bedroom and they found all my vape gear, everything got taken today, and I went out and tomorrow I gotta buy a new mod, a new juice, a new tank. Would the Krixus tank be the one to buy? I would probably say yes. I don't really have a whole lot of gripe about it. It does have fantastic flavor. The price point's not too bad. I've been seeing it online in an average of $35, $32, $38, give or take, in them areas. So it's not a whole crazy amount of money, especially for being marketed with a ceramic coil. That usually jacks a price up a lot because it's not your standard metal thing. Or your metal coil, I shouldn't have called it a thing. It's not your standard metal coil. It needs the ceramic heating element, which, you know, takes a little bit more to make, so usually the price is higher. And it's not really too much crazy higher. So it is, you know, it is more wanted at that point, because you're not looking at a $50 tank or an $80 tank, even a $100 tank. Look at the Altus tank, that's like $120, but it doesn't have it's a coilless tank. I mean, and you can look at this almost, it's round, but it's not coiled. So you can almost see this is a coilless tank. You know, it's all on personal preference, just like with everything. So before I start running in circles, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some more insight on the Krixus tank. I hope if you were in the market for a tank, I hope this video gave you the info you needed to make your decision. Alright, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out CASA.org, NotBlowingSmoke.org, and also the VapingMilitia.org. Be sure to check those out and sign up to fight for your rights to vape. They are trying to take it from us, the goddamn government. It's bullshit, and we need to stand up for our rights to vape, and every voice counts, guys, so be sure your one vote can make a hell of a difference. Alright, guys. Also, find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all /Eastern CT Vaper. And that wraps it up for me, guys, for Eastern CT Vaper. This is the HorizonTech Krixus ceramic coil tank. And this is Don, guys. Remember, always, vape on.